Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Off-Farm Income Podcast. Thank you so much for joining us here on our YouTube channel. Well, I'll tell you what, I want to help people out during the fair show season. Now, it's ironic this year because so many fairs are not going to happen. We're going to have online sales, but I've had this on my calendar. I've wanted to do it for some time, and I've wanted to profile a group of products that are intended to deal with stress in livestock and help them, if they've gone off feed, gone off water, help them to get back on track. I know this is something we've dealt with during the show season with my daughter's lambs, and it's something I wanted to let everybody know about. So today I'm going to interview Colby Gines. He is the COO of ProEarth Animal Health. We're going to talk about a number of products they have that are designed to do just that. I hope it helps you all during the fair show season. Let's jump into it right now. Colby, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for coming on today.
Hey, hello, and thanks for having me.
You bet. It is good to speak with you again. And as I was explaining to everybody in the introduction, you and I had done an episode of the D&B Supply Show Podcast before, and we were talking about specifically one of your products, Zesterra, but there was a lot that came up in that interview that I wanted to revisit for everybody out there to kind of help them during this fair season, even though, you know, this fair season is going to be a little bit different for a lot of people this year.
It is going to be a little different. So what we need to really focus on our animals, and when everybody gets the green light to go, they need to be ready to go. So
yeah, absolutely. Well, let's do this. Let's introduce you to everybody. So obviously, you and I know each other, but my audience is not familiar with you yet. Where are you speaking to us from, and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, well, of course, my name is Colby Gines. I'm from Powell, Wyoming. I am COO of ProEarth Animal Health. I help all the retail stores, and I am a 4-H parent myself. Okay. I was raised in the livestock industry and owned some cattle and horses and some different things. So definitely familiar with equine nutrition and the bovine, and we show pigs and different things. So definitely familiar with all of that and have an agriculture background for sure.
Okay, very good. So how long have you been with ProEarth Animal Health?
I have been with ProEarth Animal Health. I'm coming into my 4th year with them. I actually grew up with the owner of the company, so okay. I've been involved for a long time, but I've been doing my job now for just a little, coming into my 4th year.
Okay. All right. So coming in 4th year. And so what does ProEarth Animal Health do? Give us an overview of the business.
Sure. Well, we're an all-natural company. And what ProEarth Animal Health strives on is digestive integrity, immunity, and building immunity and helping animals digest correctly and get the maximum efficiency out of everything that we're giving them in an all-natural way. Our products are 100% all-natural. There's no drugs, there's no medicine, and we're finding out all the time about exciting things that our products do for animals. Okay. And so what our products are actually doing is that they're setting up the system to take on whatever you're going to give them. Plus, it's driving them to eat and drink. It's neutralizing acid, getting rid of the acid. And actually, what we're learning is it's turning it into several different things. So we're acting like a vending machine for these animals. You need to go drink water. It gives you the urge to go drink. You need magnesium. We have magnesium. So our products are all set up for digestive integrity, and we know that if you have digestive integrity, you have a strong immune system. Mm-hmm. So that's going to fight off some of the bugs, and it's going to build their immunity to where they're not going to get, that common cold or get that runny nose or get that little cough, because we're taking away from the system what bad bugs feed off of, and that's acid. Okay. So we take out that and we're feeding the good microbes and the good bugs in the stomach, then they thrive and they go on, it builds immunity, and we get maximum efficiency out of everything that we're going to give, whether it be our mineral programs our feedstuffs, our breeding program, our water intake, whatever we're doing for them, we're getting maximum efficiency.
Okay. So you brought up something interesting, and that is the acid, and that the bad bugs are feeding off of the acid. So let's go to the root cause of that. Where is the acid, or maybe I should put it this way, where are the excess levels of acid coming from? What's the root cause behind that?
Stress.
Stress.
Number one, stress. Anytime we stress our animals, they build acid. Acid leaks out into the system, especially in ruminants, leaks out into the system, and the bad bugs start to take over.
Okay.
So they're going to go off their feed, they're going to go off their water, and it can be a simple thing. It can be a weather change that can set into a stressful event. Mm-hmm. It can be loading something onto a trailer, hauling to the scale, where if it's at the fairgrounds, if it's at the vet, if it's wherever it may be, it could be as simple as that. And we've all seen it. You know, they're fine at home, and we go somewhere, we do something different, and all of a sudden they go off of feed and water. Mm-hmm. That's due to stress. And stress can build that acid. And when that starts to build, cortisol levels in the blood start to raise. Cortisol is in the blood. So that's a main correlation to our immune system. So when we have elevated cortisol in our blood, our immune system's not working right. And we probably don't feel good. The animals don't feel good. They're probably not eating. They're probably not drinking. And they have a plummeted pH. So by using these products in these stressful situations to keep that stress down, keep that acid down, we're helping that animal in a lot of different ways. And I touched on pH, and I'm going to touch on that here real quick. So mm-hmm. pH is very important. If we have a high cortisol level in our blood, which is stress has elevated the cortisol, and we have a plummeted pH, they're not absorbing. They've probably got a fever. They're not acting and being normal. Mm-hmm. So if we increase pH like our products do, if we increase the pH, we increase absorption, which brings cortisol down at the same time. So we're keeping the cortisol in check, we're keeping pH elevated, which we need, and we're keeping stress down. And it's keeping them eating, keeping them drinking. And that's the most important thing, and utilizing what we're giving them. And when we do all of those things at one time, we are keeping our days of lost production down. Mm-hmm. Because we want to keep them gaining. We want to keep them going. And that leads me right into another conversation of the high starch diets that we're feeding our show animals.
Okay.
We are fueling that fire. When we're feeding high starch, we are fueling the fire. And so what CattlActive does and what Zesterra does in our products, in our C-Smack product, I'll talk about a little bit later, mm-hmm. it's keeping that down. It's keeping them moving forward to where they can utilize and counteracting that high starch.
Okay. So that's interesting. And this is obviously, when we talked before, last year was the second time that my daughter's lamb did not make weight. So I'm sitting there going, okay, I could see one time, but now we've done it twice. This is too many times. And when we talked before, a couple things clicked with me. The pen we keep them in is right by our driveway. So each and every time somebody drives up and down the driveway, their lambs, that stress levels, they get spooked. The stress level's going up. And then her lamb last year, it had almost made weight very early in the season already. But by the time we got to fair, it had lost a couple pounds and did not make weight. And we just could not get it to eat. And so when I did the interview with you, this light bulb went off in my head, and I went, okay, that's got to be the answer right there. So I'm hoping to help other people out with the same problem, or keep them from ever having this problem with this. So the stress, the pH, the cortisol, it's almost like when the pH drops and the cortisol goes up, it's a double negative. But when you start...
It is a double negative.
You start raising
and
that.
The other thing.
Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. Go ahead.
The other thing that it will do is that cortisol can raise to a level to where it will actually shut off the eating response to the brain.
Really?
Yes. So it can be a negative, like a bad negative.
Okay.
So, and we see it, and heat stress can bring it on. So when it gets really hot during the day and cools off at night, that stress can set that whole thing into effect too. So like you just said, the lambs made weight early in the season, probably cooler. And then as we go into the summer months, it gets hotter. Lambs go off a feed, probably not drinking, they're stressed. And pigs will do it too.
Okay.
Steers will do it. And so this is going to counteract all that. And it's going to help them keep eating and drinking.
So you mentioned hot. I mean, we're feeding them hot feeds. That's what you're talking about with all the starch in the feed. And we're trying to get this performance out of them so they win in the show ring. And so that can contribute to this as well.
It sure can. And it's also going to contribute to bloat in our show animals, in our steers, excuse me. It could bloat them. And what these products will cut that gas and it'll knock the bloat right out of them. And we have ways to get it to these animals each and every day without physically having to put our hands on them and drench them. Now, when we're going to the fair, when we're going to weigh, when we're going to walk them, when we're going to do stressful events, yeah, we probably want to give them the drench. And that's what CattlActive is it's a drench down the mouth. It's a liquid. So when we're going to stress them really, big time, we can go ahead and drench them. And another way we have to keep them balanced each and every day is through our pellet. It's called C-Smack. And C-Smack stands for Champion Smack. So all you show people out there understand what the Champion Smack is.
Okay.
When you win your class, the judge walks up and pats you on the back. Yeah. And so that's the Champion Smack. So what this pellet's going to do is it's going to keep them utilizing. It's going to keep that fire out because you're throwing the heat to them. It's going to keep the bloat out of them. And then when we do really stress them, we're going to throw a little CattlActive liquid on top of it and keep them rocking and rolling and drinking.
Okay. Is C-Smack, so I don't remember talking about that product. Is that brand new?
It is a relatively new product, and it is available at D&B Supply. I think we've got it in a couple places, but they can order it, of course, and we can get it into the stores and get it to your people that need it. But it's a scoop. It's a 1 gram per 100 weight. It comes with a scoop. This is a super way to get it to pigs, and pigs are super acidic.
Okay.
They stress. They're very finicky. They'll go off their water. And what I mean by stress, we've all seen it at fair. Pigs go to squealing. They won't drive. They won't do nothing. Next thing you know, they're overheating and they're changing colors, and we're blanketing them with cold, wet towels, trying to cool them off. Well, the reason, first of all, that they got overheated is because they're not drinking. It's a change of environment. They're not utilizing their water when they are drinking, and they taste a little bit different. And when you're using this product, the C-Smack and the drench, it don't matter what that water smells like, and it doesn't matter what that water tastes like. They're gonna drink, no matter what, because it drives them to drink. And so, and it's also going to keep the ulcers at bay in them pigs, and that's real important, especially in the hogs, because they're just super acidic. I see it in the lambs, I see it in the steers, I see it even in the goats.
Really? Okay.
And yes, and this product will keep them going.
Okay, interesting stuff. So we're reducing the acid, or we're raising the pH, I guess is what we should say, and we're getting everything back on track. Because when we're raising a show animal, I mean, let's face it, we're giving them very unnatural stimuli. We're walking them. We're giving them this hot feed. They're not, especially for a ruminant. They're supposed to be out eating grass and forage, and we're giving them this stuff. So we're changing the natural circumstances, and we're trying to bring it back in balance here.
Yes, and that's our goal. And with these products, it's designed to maximize feed conversions on high starch diets, and that's what we're all doing. That's what we're doing. I mean, we're throwing it at them, right? Meanwhile, we're improving the absorption of the vitamins and the minerals that are in these rations. So we're going to get maximum efficiency. We're going to keep them eating. We're going to keep them drinking. And all the while, we're going to build immunity, because the immune system and the digestive system is hooked together. And if we have a strong immune system, we may not have to use antibiotics. We might not have to use anything if they did come onto something, because the immune system's strong enough to fight it off. Plus, they're gaining every day. And what I see straight across the board is, whether it's a show steer or all the way down to the goats and the sheep, the kids and the parents that are using these products, they don't have the problems that everybody runs into when we go to the fair. First of all, our animals never go off water. And that is the number one thing. So I've watched people that come in the sell ring with the set of pigs, and they go to squealing and they go to fighting, and they won't drive, they won't do nothing, and they're just not happy animals. And then here comes the hog that that's on CattlActive, and that son of a gun just goes in there and drives around and does his job, and next thing you know, you've placed in the top 2 or 3 of your class. Because they have no stress.
Okay. Now it's interesting. You brought up bloat earlier for the steers, and this is a outside of the sale ring, or I should say outside of the show ring question. But I've got an old hayfield. It's about 8 years old. Was straight alfalfa when I first began, and I plant grass into it last spring, and so we're grazing it this year. And I've been watching them really close. I've been worried about bloat, although we've got a lot of variety and species out there. But when it comes to putting cattle out on something that could bloat them, that's a little hotter, like alfalfa or something like that, can CattlActive help with that too?
It sure can. It's going to cut that gas. It's going to knock that fire right out of them. And there's another product that we have. We have lick tubs, and they're available at D&B. So you can put a lick tub out, and they're going to get onto that lick tub, and along with the drench and this, if you're putting the C-Smack into your ration every day, it'll keep that bloat out of them. It'll keep a chronic bloater from doing it. And if you really want to get after it, you can hit them in the mouth with the liquid. And yes, this will really help with bloat.
Okay.
Yeah, it's amazing what it does for bloat, because it cuts that gas.
Okay. So I appreciate you plugging D&B Supply, but actually on this show, we're going out, man, we're everywhere. We're in Australia, all over the U.S., Canada, England. So where right now are you in retail outlets all throughout the country, or where can people find us?
We're available in farm stores in 500 different locations across the United States. ProEarthAnimalHealth.com is our website. You go there and learn more about our products. But we are in farm stores all over the country. We're at Cal Ranch. We're at IFA. We're at D&B Supply. We're at Atwood's in the middle of the country. We are Thiesen's out in Iowa. We are all over the country, and our website actually has a find a dealer locator that you can go to ProEarthAnimalHealth.com, click on the find the dealer locator, put in your zip code and town, and it will fire up the locations around you. So we're even in Canada. So we are available through our website and through all of our farm stores across the country. We are becoming more available in more places each and every day.
Okay, great. Okay, so I want to ask you about timing. So here we are, we're getting into late May when this interview is coming out. Should people have already started this, or can they get their show animals going on this now and still have the desired effect? With the fair,
you're still going to have the effect. You're still going to have the effect. I've had people put these animals 2 to 3 weeks prior to weigh in at fair and be a long ways off and catch up.
Okay.
Because it's all about neutralizing that acid and getting that animal utilizing. And the sooner you can get them utilizing, the better off you are, of course. But I have brought animals from that people will say there's no way they're going to make weight. They're not going to make it. We're too far gone. They're not gaining enough per day. And I've increased that a lot. And lo and behold, voila. They make weight.
Okay.
Voila. And it works just like that. And it's never too late to start using these products, it doesn't matter what animal you're talking about. And we do have CattlActive and Zesterra. And just I want to kind of put the difference between the two. So CattlActive and Zesterra has colloidal silver in it. Colloidal silver is the only natural antibiotic known to man. CattlActive does not have colloidal silver. And so we use a lot of our Zesterra on, well, I have lots of goat people using it. I have lots of pig people using it because the colloidal silver adds healing agents, and it builds an environment inside the stomach to where they can heal ulcers and they can get the ball bouncing.
Okay.
So Zesterra is an all-natural product as well. You can use it on cattle, and you can go vice versa. The only reason the colloidal silver isn't in CattlActive is because we use these products a lot in feed yards and in dairies, and the FDA just doesn't like us putting things with metal into animals that is intended for consumption. Okay. Human consumption. So the CattlActive you can use vice versa, and Zesterra too. So it's just kind of however you want to use it. And of course, in our C-Smack, our show animal pellet is CattlActive.
Okay. And that's a pellet. Now, it's called CattlActive, but we're not going to let the title fool us. You can use it on goats. You can use it on lambs.
It is intended for all classes of livestock, and it says it right on the box. So it's good to use. There is no residual. So you can use it, and it doesn't test, and it's not illegal. You can use it. You can give it. I gave it to my kids as show hogs moments before we went to the show ring. I mean, moments. They're calling their class. I went in there. They're laying down. I slipped it in there, give them some orally, and then those pigs went in there and drove, and they won in some showman classes, and they just the hogs just did really good. And I'm seeing that straight across the board, whether it's a lamb, a goat, or a steer, or a pig, because it takes away the stress. Okay. And it frees them up where they're not worried about it.
Okay. Now, with Zesterra, with the colloidal silver, if people are showing market class, and obviously that animal is going to get sold a day or two later and it's going to go for human consumption, should they be, if that's what they're showing, should they be using the CattlActive rather than the Zesterra?
It's not going to show up one way or the other. I would say yes, but I can tell you that there's no residual in it. Okay. 100% safe, even for, I mean, I've taken it. I take it a lot. I want my immune system boosted, and so I know what it does. Yeah. So either way you want to go with it, it's not going to test, and you'll be fine.
Okay. What's the best delivery method? Do you like the pellets long term, the lick tubs, the drenches? What do you like for a delivery method the best?
If I'm feeding a high starch diet to an animal, I'm going to use the pellet every day. Okay. And when I'm going to stress them, if the boys are going to go walk them or do whatever, I'm going to give it orally. If we're going to take them to the fairgrounds and weigh them, I'm giving it to them orally. But on a day-to-day, the pellet is the easiest way to get it to them, and it's super easy. It's just a little bit every day. You're feeding them anyway, and you walk out there and a scoop and put it right in that ration and in your feed. Super easy. If I have pasture animals, I love the tub. With my horses, if I'm going to leave, I love the tub because I know it's going to keep the colic out of them. It's going to keep them drinking. It's going to keep them eating, and it's a little bit of insurance for me. But the pellet acts that way too. It's just an insurance policy, and it's a cheap one. We're talking about pennies to use the pellet, pennies per day. So it's super cheap to use, and it's very effective.
Okay. So, I mean, I've got a obvious question for you. Why aren't feed companies putting this stuff in their own feed rations? Why does it have to be? They are. Okay.
They are. We have started down that road, and so there are companies getting on board with us, and the ball is moving for our company, and it is growing daily. And we are putting it in the pellet, and we're talking about maybe some horse feed, and we're talking about pig feed. And we're talking about all these different things right now with a company to do this. So it's soon to come. We do have it in the dry form to where we could put it into the feed and into the rations. We have big feed yards using our CattlActive RA, which is a pellet as well. It's not as boosted up as our C-Smack, but we have huge outfits, big feeders using these products. And what they're seeing is their morbidity is going down, antibiotic use is going down, utilization and conversions are going up. And that's a big, so yes, we do have lots of big wheels using our product.
Got it. Okay. And so it's something that's making inroads into feed rations and into different feed products.
It is, and it's on its way, and it's coming, and it's something that we can look forward to every year. And the best part about these products is they really work, and you can see it. You can see it working day in and day out, not just in animal attitude, but you're going to see it in their look. You're going to see their hair shining. You're going to see the way that they're just always relaxed and chewing their cud. Just nothing's bothering them. They're eating, they're gaining, they're fat, they're sassy, and they're happy.
Okay. All right. Now, when you're feeding the pellets, I'll just be selfish for a minute. I'll talk about my daughter's lambs. When you're feeding the pellets to the lambs, can she mix that in with the regular feed, or should that be a separate feeding? She
can mix it right in.
Okay.
Yep.
Awesome.
And so I'll try to show everybody. So here's a container. Here's a container of the C-Smack now.
Okay.
A lot of our new containers have green lids. So this is a pellet. I don't know if you can see it. I'll try to show everybody here.
Okay.
But this is a pellet.
Okay, I'm seeing it.
And there's a scoop in each and every one of these, and they've got marks on the scoop. So it kind of shows you, and then on each of the containers, it's got a feed rate for every animal. So you can go on there, and it breaks it down for you per animal. So if a pig is 2 grams, it's got a 2 gram mark. You just scoop it up and put it in there. And
okay.
Like I said earlier, it's pennies, super cheap.
Okay, that's awesome. Well, I'm looking for solutions for people because I know how frustrating it can be. And it's just ironic that I've had this on the docket to do since the last time you and I talked, but then here we run into this coronavirus deal, and there's a lot of people that aren't going to the fair this year, which is unfortunate. I think all of California is no fair. Maybe in some other more rural counties they're going to have a fair still, but I know a ton have been canceled. So what are you seeing? Are you guys going to be able to have fairs where you're at?
I think we're going to be able to have our fairs, it sounds like. And then some of the fairs I'm hearing, they're just going to go to the livestock auction.
Yeah.
Just at the fair. And a lot of those will go online. So I feel for the kids and the hard work that they put in. And I hope everybody's able to try to figure out a way within their own counties how to have their fairs. And if it can't be live, at least try to have it online for these kids and give them an opportunity to get a reward for their hard work. And continue to build those college funds and everything those kids are saving for. So I do know there are ways to have their auctions.
Yeah.
And companies out there that have different means for online auctions for those kids. So
yeah.
Sounds like most of our fairs are going to go out here in Wyoming. I know there's other ones that aren't looking so good. But hopefully they can find a way to help those kids.
Yeah, I've been wondering about that too. And those online auctions, they're going to go one of two ways. They're either going to be, it's going to be a bad experience, or people are going to really step up and really help out these kids because they know this kind of rug's been pulled out from underneath their feet. I'm really hoping it goes that way, that people, really pay top dollar for these animals and help out these kids this year, especially the ones in the online auctions.
Yes. Sure. And there are companies out there. There's a company out there called Auction Services that is doing a lot of it right now for different fairs and stuff. And I know they have that capability. And if that's the only option they have, I hope all the counties get on board and try to kids.
Yeah. Well, hey, I use LinkedIn a ton, and I was looking at your profile getting ready for this interview, and I saw something else listed on there, Diamonds in the Desert Performance Sale. If you want to take a minute to plug that and tell us what it is, you're welcome to.
Well, sure. Well, what that is we have horse sales, and we just had a mule sale in Bryce Canyon, Utah.
Okay.
2 weeks ago, or full week ago, I guess. And we are dedicated to having high quality sales that a buyer can come and buy with confidence and get the product that they're trying to buy. And we pride ourselves on that, and we're having them all over the country. We have one in Vegas during the NFR. Our Reno sale got canceled, but we are doing an online auction only on that one. And then we have one in Fort Worth later in the summer or in the fall there in September. And then we get to go to the Quarter Horse Congress and do one for them too. So that's I'm more of a yes man when it comes to that. My wife manages that company and she does all that. So that's what we do.
It sounds to me like it's just a nice excuse to go to a bunch of awesome places. I mean,
it's kind of fun.
Bryce Canyon, the NFR, Fort Worth. I love being down in the stockyards. I mean, it just sounds like a great way to get around to the country and see all your favorite spots.
Yeah, it is fun.
That is great. All right. Well, Colby, I really appreciate it. Again, if you can let everybody know where they can go to find out more about CattlActive, about CSMAC, about Zesterra, where should they go?
They go to ProEarthAnimalHealth.com.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming on and sharing this with us today. I really wanted to give some people some stuff that might help them during the show season. I really appreciate your time.
I appreciate you asking me to be on, and anytime this has been been a lot of fun. So thank you.
Well, thank you for being here, everybody. Thank you very much to Colby Gines for joining us and sharing all that great information. I hope it helps you all out in the show ring this year. And as always, enjoy your journey to the ultimate lifestyle business, agriculture.